Welcome to the Midwest Blitz. It's college football comfort food for the Midwest soul.
Welcome to another edition of the Midwest Blitz. Yeah, yup.
The Associated Press poll came out today. Associated Press voters, we got a lot of problems with you people, and we're going to air them out today in our airing of grievances over the preseason polls, Coach Drew. The first thing I want to complain about today is Indiana being ranked 6th in both of these polls. Undefeated, 16-0. Coach of the Year twice, Curt Cignetti. Defensive coordinator won the Bryles Award, best assistant coach in the country. So you have the best offensive coach and the best defensive coach. You have returning All-Americans at all three levels of your defense, All-Americans on the offensive line and at wide receiver, and we're ranked 6th. And you know what? Ohio State, fine. Oregon, fine. Georgia, fine. Notre Dame, you know what? I'll take it. Texas, dude, no way Texas should be ranked ahead of Indiana. Just because the media has a love affair with Steve Sarkisian doesn't mean they should be ranked in the top 5. Texas is talented. Arch Manning is very talented. He's been highly inconsistent. He throws a lot of bounce passes to guys running bubble screens in the flat. Why do we assume that Arch Manning's going to take a championship leap in performance this year? Why do we assume that they have a chance to win the SEC? We all know who runs the SEC now. It's Kirby. Kirby's the best coach in the SEC easily, and he's a top 3 coach in the country probably. Why does Texas get the benefit of the doubt here, Coach Drew? I have a major problem with this.
Yeah, Texas and Sarkisian. You also have the Arch Manning love. Like, I get it. Arch Manning played well down the stretch, but did they even make it to the playoffs last year? I mean, we're playing this year-to-year basis. The AP poll had a chance to do something they never done. As we all know, it's the Associated Press. Those are special voters that vote for these things. And I can tell you, some of them probably stopped watching the playoffs when Indiana went all the way to win the championship. They had an opportunity to put them first. And what do? They put Ohio State. Okay, fine. Ohio State, the standard of the Big Ten. Well, guess what? You have a new standard. And Cignetti, you just gave him an opportunity, which is okay because we love to watch this. This is going to be in the locker room for sure. And people are going to be like, how did our defense get better? How do we swap out players that, can potentially do well? How do you do this? You know what? How do we still have Texas Tech up there? They had all those offseason issues. How do you just put them up there? Like, this is, I'm a Notre Dame fan, sure. But putting them 4, right? I mean, if you're going to put them 4, might as well put them 1. Because you've already been telling us, everybody, that they're going to win it, da-da-da this, da-da-da that. This is what irritates me. It's like pin the tail on the donkey.
Well, the Associated Press is necessarily constituted of writers, Coach Drew, and the great Bobby Knight once said that most of us learn to write in 3rd grade, and then we move on to bigger and better things. But not these people, Coach Drew, and that's why they've screwed this poll up so badly. What else do you have a problem with?
Well, I won't say necessarily a problem, but I do want to point out something here that I thought was pretty funny. The AP started already, was putting Ole Miss at 9 and LSU 11. I think that's setting up something for fun later, especially since we just had a guy dart on a private jet. I mean, a little plane fly down into the Baton Rouge. How about that?
Hey, that's the game in the first part of the season that I'm looking forward to the most, maybe outside of Big Ten play and outside of Notre Dame, is the Ole Miss LSU game. That's going to be absolute cinema, man. You couldn't have more hype on an early season game than that between two teams that, as far as I'm aware, before were not rivals, but now they'll be rivals forever as long as the Lane train is at LSU. Let's talk about problems again, Coach Drew. LSU being 11th. Now, Lane Kiffin is a talented coach who has precisely won 0 championships, 0 conference championships, 0 national championships, but a talented coach nonetheless from a good coaching tree. His dad's a Hall of Fame coach. But if Lane Kiffin wasn't Lane Kiffin, would LSU be ranked 11th right now? I don't think they would, but I guess that's the cachet that fame and celebrity can buy you. Whereas Curt Cignetti's got to borrow a bus ticket to get to number 6 in this poll after winning a national championship, losing 2 games in 2 seasons, running a program the perfect way that you could in modern college football. I think there's a little favoritism for the Lane Train, but I do think that it makes for an exciting matchup with Ole Miss and all that. I don't think LSU will be ranked that high after the dumpster fire they were last year. You talk about transfer portal guys and guys that have to prove themselves. I like the quarterback they got from Arizona State. Nothing against him, but doesn't he have to prove something coming into the SEC? I mean, like you said, narratives shift based on which conference you're in. If Josh Hoover had went to LSU, they'd be talking about him as a Heisman potential guy right now. Instead, all you can hear about is him being turnover prone at TCU. Well, when your team's behind by 3 touchdowns, sometimes you got to force it down the field at the end of the game.
Well, it's the same thing with Alabama. I mean, look, Nick Saban, one of the greatest coaches to ever coach in college football, you know, he still has to be relevant at some point because Alabama's sitting at 13 in the polls. Like, I feel like, they're a playoff team. Why are they not higher? This whole narrative about I get it. We have to choose different teams based on year to year because people come, people go.
I love the representation of different conferences. Go ahead. I don't have a problem that we have teams from different conferences, even though we all know the Big Ten is the best conference.
Well, yes, and then they even have the new Penn State. The new Penn State, I want to call it the new Penn State because it's a new era, and they have them ranked at 18. They also have SMU ranked 19, and a lot of people think that Notre Dame has a soft schedule. Notre Dame now has 3 opponents that are ranked in the AP preseason poll, which is huge for them because they're a non-conference independent team.
If we want to view the preseason polls as I drop back into a little more seriousness, we've been screwing around and joking a little more than usual to start the show, but that's what these preseason polls are for, is for fun. I kind of like Penn State having a chance to be ranked here. If we view this as a power ranking, like I said earlier, because Penn State has a pretty easy schedule, I think that Matt Campbell and Taylor Mauser, his offensive coordinator, have a style of play that will translate well to the Big Ten with run game, with utilizing multiple tight ends, with the way they, as I heard another top coach say recently, we're not necessarily trying to beat you by 5 touchdowns. We're just trying to beat you by 1 score and control the line of scrimmage and control the flow of the game. And I think that's kind of how Matt Campbell rolls. I expect him to have a good year. Whether Penn State is actually a top 10, top 15 team, they are going to be in the playoff conversation towards the end of the year because of their schedule and because I think the coaching staff is competent enough to come in here and put together a solid game plans against the Big Ten schedule that they have been lucky enough to draw this year.
Well, that's true too. And we also have KF from Iowa. We love our Iowa fans. They also snuck into the AP after knocking off Pavia and his boys.
I love people from Iowa, even though they hate people from Iowa State and vice versa. I'm going to say this, though. Iowa didn't get ranked until the end of the year last year. So these AP people who copied their homework last year were too slow to acknowledge Iowa. I think Iowa has more question marks this year just because they lost so much talent on the offensive line to the NFL, although they'll still have a good offensive line and they'll still have a good defense because Parker, the DC, is top notch. But I think that this year I have more questions about Iowa than I did last year. But that's not because I don't love people from Iowa, as I stated.
Well, it's the same thing. We could say the same thing about Washington being a part of the AP preseason poll sitting at 17. Williams coming back after the controversial of I'm leaving. Wait, no, I'm not. Wait, I have an NIL contract. Wait, I guess I'm going to play here situation. I mean, I guess they're just going to give them the benefit of the doubt to kind of roll with it.
Whoa. That's dead and buried, Coach Drew. Why are you bringing that up? You're making it awkward for Jed Fish and the Washington Huskies. Why are you doing that, Coach Drew?
Well, we got to make some controversy here.
There may have been some lawyers involved, but it's over now, Coach Drew. Jeez, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to us?
Well, Texas Tech is 12, and we still got lawyers involved.
Speaking of that, let's talk about the Red Raiders for a second. So obviously, Brendan Sorsby, with the gambling situation, Brendan, he gone. He's not here anymore. But Would
He
Brandon
used to play
Soares
quarterback?
He used to play quarterback for the Indiana Hoosiers. Well, he used to bet against the Hoosiers while sitting in the quarterback room in Bloomington, but I digress. I like Will Hammond, the quarterback that Texas Tech has. He was on the roster last year. He performed well when Barron Morton was injured last year. With the defense that Texas Tech has, I kind of like them at 12. They're still considered by many to be the favorite to win the Big 12 conference this year. And I think that Hammond, at the least, is a capable game manager. But I actually like this kid. I think he has legit skills.
Yeah, I mean,
To go
when
with
you
the
have a guy,
defense that's stacked again as theirs is. Sorry to interrupt you.
no, you're good. They obviously have oil money. I mean, if there's one thing consistent with the independent state of Texas is that Texas has, I think we counted them pre-conversation, pre-talk, like 5 of them. I mean, we got all of them. We got Texas Tech, SMU, Houston, Texas A&M, Texas, you know. But that's another
No
thing too is
Baylor,
like
no Texas
Baylor,
State, no Baylor.
no Baylor, no Texas
What
State.
about
Yeah,
North
Texas State.
Texas? What about North
Oh, no North
Texas?
Texas.
No North Texas?
No. I don't even think they got a vote. I know JMU got a vote. Boise State got a vote. There are some people. Clemson, now they're not on the AP 25 this year to start the preseason. But I will say this, they did at least get 100 votes from polls, people. And they're only 5 votes away from taking that top 25. Now, for the guys who have been around and watched us, you guys are mostly above 25 and up. And we appreciate you guys coming by. If you like content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. But as I digress and continue here, Clemson, boys, we remember watching Clemson. They had Trevor Lawrence, which, by the way, my fiance, I love her the most. You guys will appreciate this. I like watching
Hi,
the
Nessa.
Chargers. Hi, Nessa. I like watching the Chargers. And a couple years ago, Jacksonville beat them, and she calls Trevor Lawrence Stephanie. She's like, "Oh, that's Stephanie's team," because he has luscious hair. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
He's
So
sunshine.
they had Trevor Lawrence, ETN. I mean, they had a powerhouse for a second. They don't want to modernize in the NIL. Well, guess what? I guess they're going to get modernized out of the AP.
I can't trust Clemson again after last year until I see that Sweeney can construct a roster properly. I like Dabo Sweeney. I'm not hating on him, but I felt a little betrayed last year when, I was like, hey, this guy's a good coach. And then I was like, times are a changing in college football. Things aren't the way they were before. He's going to have to prove that he actually has his roster construction set for the modern era, even though I guess he's embraced the transfer portal, kind of. But we're going to see when he goes to LSU early, another game to watch out for.
Yeah, but I mean, that's all I got with the top 25. I hope you guys appreciate it. Nick, do you got anything else?
Who else? Oh, Louisville at 24 lost like their whole offensive line. They've got a lot back on defense. I like their head coach, Brom, as a dog. I like Lincoln Keenholz, the quarterback they got from Ohio State. They got a stud NFL running back. They got a stud receiver. Like, they've got like 2 chess pieces to run the Queen's Gambit at the skill positions and a good quarterback who's athletic. They have a lot of questions at offensive line. So it'll be interesting to see what Louisville does at 24, because some people, they highlight their games against maybe SMU and Miami. I don't know if they play both of them, but yeah, that's another one where Louisville should have been ranked last year sooner, and then they're on the list this year. But that's pretty much all I got, buddy.
All right, for sure. It looks like the SEC and the Big Ten dominate the polls. Big 12 coming around the bend, and the AC couple strides back. So we'll see how that goes. Coach Drew signing off.
See you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button if you made it this far. What's up, Deacon? Good to see you. Later.